Hey everyone, this is James Santiago and this is your show, Learn Wealthy. Ever heard of the Phillips Curve? No, it's not some new roller coaster at an amusement park, though it does have its ups and downs. Today, we're diving into the classic economic concept that tries to explain the relationship between inflation and unemployment. And yes, it's actually a lot more interesting than it sounds. Trust me, let's break it down. So back in late 1950s, an economist named A.W. Phillips noticed something curious when looking at data from the UK. He found that when unemployment was low, inflation tended to be higher, and when unemployment was high, inflation tended to be lower. He plotted this relationship on a graph and boom, the Phillips curve was born. The Phillips curve basically suggests that there's a trade-off between inflation and unemployment. If you want lower unemployment, you might have to tolerate a bit more inflation. And if you want lower inflation, you might have to deal with higher unemployment. Sounds like a bit of a lose-lose situation, right? In the 1960s, this curve was all the rage. Policymakers thought they could fine-tune the economy by deciding how much inflation they were willing to accept to keep unemployment down. It was like trying to find the perfect balance on a seesaw, and for a while, it seemed to work. But then, the 1970s rolled around and said, "Hold my beer." The world saw something that wasn't supposed to happen according to the Phillips curve. Stagflation. That's when inflation and unemployment both went up at the same time. It was like the seesaw broke and everyone was left hanging. The 2008 Great Financial Crisis. Following the financial crisis, many economists faced high unemployment rates while also experiencing significant inflation, particularly in commodities and energy prices. The situation contradicted the traditional Phillips curve relationship. Japan's lost decade, the 1990s. After the asset bubble burst in the 1990s, Japan forced prolonged deflation and stagnation, with low inflation rates and high unemployment persisting for years, challenging the Phillips curve predictions. COVID-19 pandemic of 2020, post-World War II period in years immediately following World War II, economic events in 2021 to 2023 Bidenomics, and several periods of stagflation in history. These instances illustrate that while the Phillips curve provides a useful framework for understanding the relationship between inflation and unemployment, it's not a definitive rule and can be influenced by various factors including expectations, global events, structural changes in the economy, and yet the Federal Reserve still holds on to the Phillips curve. Thank you all for watching Learn Wealthy. Click subscribe and get notified with a bell so we can keep learning wealthy together. I want to read your thoughts. Please comment below. To understand what stagflation is, click the link to the next video.